In a small rural village called Wimbe in Malawi, southern Africa, a boy named William Kamkwamba was born in 1987. His family, like most in the village, were farmers who grew maize. They had no electricity, no running water, and lived on less than $1 a day. Life was simple but hard, and about to get much harder. In 2001, when William was just 14, Malawi was struck by a massive famine. Crops failed, food ran out, people were starving. His family, like many others, barely survived. Meals were reduced to a handful of corn kernels a day. He described the hunger as so severe, it made him unable to sleep. That kind of hunger claws at your bones. And if hunger wasn't enough, tragedy came knocking again. His family couldn't afford school fees anymore, so William had to drop out of high school. Now here's where the plot twist begins. William loved science. He'd always been curious, taking apart radios, fixing broken electronics, even building little toy trucks from scraps. So, when he had to stop going to school, he did something wild. He went to the library. Every day, he walked to a small local library funded by the Americans. Shout out to the U.S. International Development Agency for that clutch move, and started reading. The books were mostly in English, which he barely spoke. But this boy, he didn't let that stop him. He used diagrams, pictures, and a whole lot of stubborn determination to decode them like a linguistic Indiana Jones. One book in particular caught his eye, Using Energy. It had windmills on the cover. He learned that wind could generate electricity. Electricity meant lights, a water pump, maybe even a way to irrigate his family's land so they'd never go hungry again. Now, remember, this is a kid who had never seen a real windmill. Just diagrams, just dreams. But William decided he would build one. He scoured junkyards and trash heaps for parts. Bicycle frames, tractor fans, plastic pipes, old batteries, a broken radio. He literally Frankensteined his first windmill out of whatever the village tossed away. People thought he was mad. Seriously, they called him Misala, crazy. They laughed when he said he'd bring electricity to his house, but he built it anyway. At 14, William Kamkwamba built a working windmill that powered 4 light bulbs and a radio in his family's mud brick home. Later, he added another windmill to pump water for irrigation. That crazy windmill boy? Now he was a village legend. Word spread. First, the local paper picked it up. Then, a Malawian blogger wrote about it. Eventually, it caught the attention of TED Global in 2007, and they invited him to speak in Tanzania. He had never been on a plane. He didn't even have a passport. He stood on stage in front of the world's brightest minds and, in quiet, humble English, said, "I try, and I made it." The audience erupted. He received a standing ovation, and that was just the beginning. William got scholarships. He went back to school, then studied at Dartmouth College in the U.S. He wrote a best-selling memoir, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, which later became a Netflix film directed by and starring Chiwetel Ejiofor. Seriously, go watch it. It's inspiring and beautifully shot. But he didn't stop there. He used his fame to help other kids in Malawi. He started building schools, libraries, solar panels, and water pumps. He founded the Moving Windmills Project, a nonprofit focused on bringing education and energy to rural Africa. Because for William, it was never just about his own success. It was about using what he had, his mind, his hands, his grit, to lift up everyone around him. So what's the takeaway? William's story reminds us of a few profound truths. You don't need much to dream big. Just curiosity, a library card, and some rusty bike parts. When the world tells you you're crazy, build your windmill anyway. Hope is powerful, and so is persistence. Even in the darkest moments, you can light your own path. And hey, if a 14-year-old boy in rural Malawi with no money, no electricity, and no English can literally harness the wind, what excuse do we have?